What's up, everyone? Welcome to another District Gooner Pod. We have an audio exclusive for you today, straight from the bench. My co-host is back in the nation's capital, sitting next to me in the lab. Steven, take it away, man.
Howdy. It's a nice bright day in the district, man. Walking over here today. I'm getting some photosynthesis in, man. Who knows about that little science? Was it the mitosis? Mitochondria, little action. But it's nice out, bro. Getting the sun in. I'm feeling good. Maybe have go up to the rooftop today, get a little session.
It is. It's giving big rooftop vibes. I think it's like a high of 65 or so. So the weather's turned a little bit. The sun is going down later in the day. That's always a positive for me. And, really happy, positive vibes going into the weekend, man.
Oh, yeah. Still buzzing off last weekend. Socials have been popping, People still got Arsenal in their mouth, which is always fun.
Rent-free, dude. Rent-free, boy.
Always fun for us. So yeah, let's get into it. Player of the month for January. Big man, Gabriel.
Say his name.
Well deserved, man. Well deserved for that dude. I guess that's the only player I could pick. Did you have anyone else in mind?
So that was the January Player of the Month from Arsenal Club,
correct,
right? But
correct.
He's also nominated for the Premier League January Player of the Month, sorry. And I don't know if he'll get that one. That feels a little far from reach. But I'm so happy they gave him this award. I think it's so well deserved. He's been performing just at a really top level, especially at a time where, to be honest, the last two games, the other center back has maybe let him down a little bit. But he's reminded everyone the standards that he plays to.
Absolutely, man. Consistent from this guy. I have to say, I'm thinking back a few years, how much he's improved. And I think maybe that's why he gets like the underrated kind of shtick slapped on him. Because a couple of years ago, remember, he's kind of brash. A lot of those red card, stupid fouls, penalties he was giving up. I can't think of really one of those moments anymore. He still has the emotion, still has the passion. He got in Nunez's face. Like, he's still that dude. But those crazy, stupid decisions are gone. So he was a great player back then. Without those stupid decisions, he's even better. So well deserved. I think it's a long time coming.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if you think back to the left side of our team the last 6 years, he didn't have the best role model when it came to sort of hot-headedness, right? He's just looking up and he's seeing Xhaka. It's like, this guy is setting the tone, so he just kept riding that too. But it's been really good to see him make some better decisions. He's rolling the ball underneath his foot less. I think his touches are better. And I think since Saliba has come on, he's really improved at the long passing. He wasn't so good at his long passing. And I mean, that was very evident in the Liverpool game. But it's really nice that he's improved on that and much more in control of his passing.
Absolutely. Moving forward, he can hit it. I think mentally for the other players on the left side, Martinelli sees it coming. Hopefully Havertz now sees it coming. So big things. He hits that ball pretty sweetly. I feel like when you see him hit the ball, you don't see him as that kind of guy, right? I don't think of him as a ball player like that, but it's in his locker. It absolutely is. So shout out Big Gabby.
Shout out Big Gabby, dude. All right, man. Well, another thing that I just wanted to kind of chat about today was reflecting back in the January window. Pretty quiet, but especially following the Liverpool game. Two players who played a critical role were Trossard and Jorginho. Two January signings from last year. Jorginho for 12 million. Those guys over there at Chelsea have spent 220 million on Enzo and Caicedo, and Jorginho is still that guy, dude. So, and Leo, we signed him for 22 million. I mean, Leo easily feels like the most threatened player that we have off the bench, unless Nelly's on there. But hey, kind of want to reflect on it. What do you think about their signings and also kind of this new transfer policy that it feels like we have?
Ooh, I'll give my take, and then I'm gonna throw it back to you for the transfer policy because I don't know where you're going on that one. So I'd like to hear it. But Jorginho, great signing. When we signed him, to be honest, I wasn't that hyped. I thought he can be serviceable. He's not playing in this Chelsea team that's not good. So it's kind of an interesting one at the time. But Trossard, I like Trossard. I liked him at Brighton. I'm a fan of the dude, and he's been excellent. Kind of hope he gets his minutes, I think. I remember preseason this year, man, he looking good. Then start of the season, it didn't seem like he was playing a ton. But he's still one of our highest goal scorers coming off the bench, basically. I think he has 4 goals this season. He's like in our top 5 for goal scorers, so he produces when he gets the chance. So let's throw it back to you, though. Transfer policy, what you got to say?
So what I wanted to kind of call out is this sort of nice transition that we've seen under the Edu and Mikel Arteta era, where we are just signing more Premier League proven players. That, I think part of the reasons we didn't sign anyone in January is because that player wasn't available. So you look back on our last few transfer windows and their commitment to improving, but also signing players from within the league. So Havertz, Jorginho, Trossard, Rice, who else that we've recently signed that was like from another Premier League team?
I think that's actually Raya. I'd throw Raya in there. But that's true. Pepe, obviously not from the league. Vieira, not from the league. I'm trying to go for other players that we got. Timber, you could throw him in there. Saliba. I mean, some of those signings are the past regime, though. But that, I think, to stay consistent within the league, we know what we're going to get from you. Maybe it's more of a sure thing when you sign someone from within the league. You know what they can produce. I think you think this is funny too, but when you buy a player from another league and they come play in the Premier League, like, oh, they're not used to the physicality. They're just not used to it. It's going to take them a few months to get up. Like, I always think that's kind of funny. I guess watching, you start to understand it a bit. But from coming over here where players are traded, you know, within the league and everything, it's like, it can't be that big of a deal, but it is, right? It's each country plays a different type of way, has a different style, different flow in the way they play. So if you can you're going to be shelling out 60 million for a player, 50 million. Oh, Jesus, there we go. That's one.
Jesus, Zinchenko.
There we go.
Even Cedric, you can put him in that basket.
Yeah. If you're going to shell out a significant amount of money for somebody, can't be a flop. Pepe being a flop, like, that's unacceptable. You can't be dishing out that money. We've seen a lot of other clubs do the same thing. So sure money in the pocket. I understand that. That's actually a good shout, man.
Yeah. So very, very supportive, I think, of this new transfer policy that we have now. Hopefully, like in the summer, we'll make a couple of signings from abroad, but also hopefully a couple from within the Premier League. It would not surprise me if we sign at least one player from another Premier League team in the summer.
I think getting the standards up. Man, maybe you're talking some mess today, Keon. It's Friday, sun's out. You feeling yourself. But for real, I think that's such a good point. We got our standards up with people from within the league. And then you can throw in the little extra flair players maybe from other places that can do something. But let's stick to what we know, what they know. Let's buy them, get our standard up to where it is now. Yeah, I like that strategy. Let's get you up. Maybe we need to get you in the front office or something, bro.
Hey, let's just have some conversations. That's all. You guys, the listeners all know you can always write into us, districtgooner@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on the transfer policy and anything else that you think we should chat about. So in the last couple of weeks, another talking point that's kind of been brewing, I've already seen some comps pop up on the socials, dude. Sambi Lakanga. We kind of talked about him a couple of weeks ago. He had a good performance, another couple of good performances. I think you watched him against Newcastle, that Luton 4-4 crazy game. And you wrote here that Sambi Lakanga looks serviceable. You want to expand on this a little bit?
Yeah, he looks serviceable. He actually looks like someone that could be a squad player for us. And let's not get ahead of our skis, as we say. He's not going to come in and be this big game changer. But if we have El Neni moving on, Jorginho getting a little older, I think he's going to sign an option for one more year.
Did you see the thing about Jorginho and his hip? And apparently he's been playing with like a big hip issue that requires surgery equivalent to like hip replacement. So I think if he gets the surgery, it actually is over for him.
Oof. Yeah.
So this might be his very last season, man.
Yeah, since he's old. Hip problems, that's usually written, right? But Lakanga, I think he looks serviceable. And what I mean by that is he can play on the ball for us. Defensively, I still don't think he looks great. But I was actually watching him. Specifically, I'm watching this game. I remember when he played for us, it seemed like he would kind of hide a little bit. He wasn't checking in for the ball. We're expecting to be that center midfielder that's going in, receiving the ball, turning, going forward. He wasn't that. But for Luton, he is. And he has his head up when he receives the ball and is willing to play the ball forward. He's not just looking to ping it back, just recycle it. Like, he's actually looking for the pass. So I think he could come into the squad and actually be something.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so. I mean, you think about this is a player that we signed for, I feel like it was like 20 million or so.
I think it was like 15.
Okay, but so it was from a Belgian team that he was the captain of at 20, was it 20? 21?
Yeah, Anderlecht. And Company was the manager at the time.
So a lot of high hopes for him. I kind of like the player. I think if he grows a little bit into it and he can play that 8 role for us. I think you're right. Defensively, he's not there, but that's why we got insurance policy Rice, dude.
Yeah, he really got thrown into it. He got thrown in the fire. Partey gets hurt. Who's our 6? We're not putting Xhaka back there, so he got thrown in, and that's tough. That's a tough position to play for us. So if you're not Partey, you're not Rice. Lukonga ain't to that level. He's not to that standard, but hopefully he comes into himself. We mentioned the doc last week. You could tell he needed to grow a little bit, maybe grow up. Maybe he's gotten there. He's playing for Luton. Maybe he comes back in the summer. He makes the decision. Do I want to play full time? Then I got to go to a club like Luton again. Or do I want to be a squad player like Arsenal for a team like Arsenal, but I would be coming off the bench, not getting as many minutes? I guess let's leave it to him. Make that decision.
Yeah, that's a good shout, dude. All right, man. Well, obviously, February, we have 3 Premier League games and 1 in the Champions League. This preview pod, we're going to spend the second half of the show kind of talking about West Ham, the lineup, expectations, and etc. But before we get to that, got a couple of social posts. So you want to tee it up, man?
Yeah, let's jump into mine first. We each have one for today. One is an item there was a lot of chatter on, but it's gotten quiet the last, I want to say probably after December. The chatter's gotten real quiet, and we're talking goalkeepers. So this is a tweet from Tim Stillman. It says, last season, Aaron Ramsdale caught 5.8% of crosses that came into the Arsenal area. And this is in the Premier League. Raya caught 15.3% of crosses Arsenal have faced this season. I think crosses have probably been something that we didn't look great on last year. This year, though, so 15.3%. And how many of those have turned into a direct counterattack to that quick release? We're now seeing that consistently. The chatter's gone because it looks good, and I think Raya is playing good. So I think this tweet's actually just a good shout. It's showing why that change was made.
I think that's fair, dude. And so the top comment on this post is from a Posh Trophy. And they say that their favorite thing about Raya is his quick releases that trigger a counterattack. Not only is his vision ridiculously good, but his distribution is top notch. And to be fair, I think it was like episode 1 or 2 that we had watched Raya, and I made that call that he just lets the ball go a lot quicker from his hands. Just rolls it into the center mid to turn and run, and it's made a huge difference. And I agree with you that the chatter has kind of died down a little bit. Ramsdale was trying to get some TV time last game. That's when you know that you're just trying to kind of get in the headlines a little bit. And, big up Rams. I'm not hating it anyway. I just think some of those things are as a result of knowing that, hey, this is kind of my airtime that I'm going to get. So it's been nice. It's been nice that it's quieted down. And if you recall, sort of earlier in the season, I think it's a two-edged sword, right? Yes, he comes out and collects a lot of crosses, but also early in the season, there were a couple of back post balls, right? Yeah. That got over him, that got in there, that we had some troubles. I feel like I'm okay with the risk reward on that.
I agree. I also think if that was really a problem, it would be exploited consistently. Teams know that, right? They're watching our games. They know. Maybe he tweaked something. Again, I haven't watched it. He was really high on his front post for a while. The Madrid goal stands out. That was an item. I think the game before that, kind of the same thing happened where it went over his head. So maybe something did happen. I don't watch the goalkeeper as closely as I'm watching the other 10 players. But man, Ryan, I think the chatter's quieted, which is good. He's more comfortable, it seems like. I still really like the way he plays as like another center back. When we're swinging the ball around, he is willing to leave his area completely and provide help, which creates space from everywhere else. An attacker's not going to go press him. So he can receive the ball and decide where it goes, whether it's hoof it out, play to the other side. It's a big deal. He's just comfortable. So he's our man. Hopefully we get some money from for Ramsdale in the summer, man.
Yeah. I think that one's kind of written.
It is.
It's kind of written, man. All right. Well, our next post, it actually comes from R Hammers. I was trying to do some Oppo research, dude. So I was looking like, what are these irons talking about on their Reddit? And one of their top posts is actually from Squawka saying that after West Ham lost to Manchester United last weekend, David Moyes has now lost more Premier League games than any other manager in the competition's history. 239 losses. First of all, let's give the man a round number this weekend and make that 240. But second of all, kind of an interesting stat. Kind of makes me feel bad for Moyes because I think back to the time. I think the number kind of makes sense because of the teams that he has coached. Mm-hmm. But also I think back to the time where, he was kind of handpicked by Sir Alex Ferguson as his replacement at Manchester United. And they gave him like 6 months. I think for a little bit, they actually ruined this man's career. And then they sit there, dude, judging us about our celebrations.
Nah, that's funny. I don't think Moyes is a bad manager. Like, do you think he's a bad manager?
No, I rate him, to be honest with you. I think it's very difficult to get some of these sort of bottom half teams to exceed expectations with their performance consistently. And he does that. He gets the most out of the players that he has. That makes him a good manager.
I agree. I don't think Moyes is a bad manager. I think to break the record for losses also means you're managing for a long time.
Yes.
You're not so bad that people are willing to let you go. He's been managing for a long time, which, it's like in football, I think Brett Favre leads the league in interceptions career-wise. But he's also Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. So that's just, I think something that happens when you're going to be a coach that long. Everton, West Ham, United. I think there's a certain way that he likes to play. I wouldn't like him to be a manager of my team. I don't like the way he plays personally. I wouldn't want to watch that, but it gets results, right? Never been relegated. He can be that guy.
He gets results.
Yeah.
Dude.
A result manager. That's a good way to put it. He gets results.
Yeah. And he gets results against some big teams. Dude, he's like, it's always a kind of a hard match for him against, like, I think West Ham have some good results against Manchester City sometimes, dude. Uh-huh. Liverpool, like, they can muster up a draw. They've slapped us around a little bit this season, so hopefully not at the weekend, and let's maybe just go there. Let's go into the game this weekend. Sunday is where it will take place. There's some other games too this weekend, but Sunday should be a very good sporting day. Arsenal play in the morning, and then there's actually Aston Villa and Manchester United.
Yeah, that should be good.
And then we got the Super Bowl in America, dude. So that's also going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a long day, man. It's a long day Sunday. Getting into the game, I think this one might be a bit interesting. I wonder if some spots have been won over just based on the performance.
Say more about that.
I wonder if there is going to be a true rotation. We saw what happened on last weekend, Liverpool game. We've also seen us getting battered by West Ham. Played them twice, and to be honest with you, they've outplayed us both times. Might be another change up to throw out there, Arteta. I think he might need to stick with some of the players he's thrown out. Kai up top? I don't know. I kind of feel a vibe of let's just ride this baby out.
So the second time we played them in the league, in the cup, yeah, I agree. They absolutely battered us. In the league, they had 2 set piece goals. right? That game, they had 2 corners. Mavropanos scored on us. So I think they scored kind of early in the first half, packed it in. It was just like a very Moyes game, as we talked about it, I think, post-match on that pod. So it is away, and I don't know if Paqueta is back for West Ham. I don't have an update on that. I know they sold a couple of players actually in the January window. One to watch is Kudos. I think that's easy from an Oppo research side. I would say for Arsenal, 3 things. I don't know if Jesus is fit. I hope he is, as to come on as a sub. I agree with you. He does not start the game for me.
Yeah.
I think Saka is fit, and he starts, absolutely. And Tommy is back. I don't know about Zinchenko's status.
Don't either.
But so that's another thing to consider. For me, I agree with you, given the performance against Liverpool, given the lineup against Liverpool, the only change that I would want to see in the lineup, 2 changes. I think left back, I'm okay with Tommy starting on his return, and left center mid. I don't think Jorginho plays this game because they are more of a counter-attacking team. They're going to be packed in more. And I'm not satisfied with 60 minutes from Smith Rowe. And he didn't play. I want him back in the starting line. I want to see Smith Rowe, dude.
So I actually pulled up the lineup we had against that December game. Trossard played left 8 that day. So I'm going to actually say, give me Jorginho. We just played Liverpool, who's the best counterattacking team out there. I say, give me Jorginho. Let's shore up the midfield from their lineup. So they're back 2 plus their midfield. Ogbonna, Mavropanos, 2 big guys. And then it was Souček and Alvarez, 2 big guys.
And now they have Calvin Phillips too.
So very defensive. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think he starts this game. Phillips. I think he came off the bench last week as well.
Oh, okay.
After that big mistake in his first game. But I see them going with their same lineup. They've got our number this season. Jorginho for me. I want to see Kai up top. I want to see Kai up front. Things might be a changing. I really like that. I really like the look from Kai up top. I think things are changing a little bit.
It's going to be so interesting. Can you imagine a scenario? Well, actually, I totally can, as I'm just thinking about it. And let me share it with you out loud. I can see Eddie getting a start and Kai going to left 8.
That's fair.
I can see that being the starting lineup.
If that happens, I think that's a step backward, personally.
Ooh.
I think that's a step backward. If Kai plays left 8 and Jesus isn't up top, I want Trossard there. Playing Eddie and Nketiah up front is a step backward for me. I've said this before. I think he's our fourth best striker. He's our 4th best striker. Jesus, Kai, Trossard, then Eddie.
So at this moment in time, given the second half of the season, given everything that's riding on every game, you're saying Eddie doesn't get into the team?
No, he doesn't. How could you drop Trossard? He's playing well. How can you drop Kai? Playing well. And then it's between Jesus and Eddie, 2 players that really haven't produced that much. Jesus produced more than him. He had that goal and assist, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Eddie, man, he's not that dude right now.
That's really fair, dude. I will say that after this game, we don't play again until next Saturday, and it's Burnley away. So just something to consider, I guess, when the manager's thinking about his lineup.
Got to keep the momentum. I think we won 3 in a row.
Yeah, got to make it 4.
Got to make it 4. We just got to keep putting pressure on these other 2. Keep up the pressure. Eddie's not the guy you put in if you want that, to me. He won't strike fear in West Ham. I just don't see that.
Fair. I think the points that you're making are totally fair. And how can you not play Kai Havertz up top?
If you're picking between the 4, like I said, 2 of them have been playing really well consistently. That's Kai and Trossard. And then you have Jesus, who's potentially hurt, but it also has been playing well. Eddie Nketiah, he's healthy. He just hasn't been producing for us. Ruthless. Be ruthless.
Be ruthless. Okay, do you have a score prediction for the weekend?
Away in London to Derby. 3-1 to the Arsenal.
I'm going to speak with my heart here and just say 4-0. I think 4-0 to the Arsenal, dude.
Wow.
I think we come out swinging.
Set pieces, open play?
Open play. I think we score early. I think this is one game that we score early and we pile it on and it's 3-0 at half.
Oof.
I see a 3-0 at half that becomes 4.
Gotcha. I think they pack it in. Because you're right. I looked up the statistics of that last game. We were belting them. I think we had 31 shots total that game. They had 6.
Yeah. We didn't get battered twice. We were unlucky the second time. We didn't capitalize on our chances. That's one I remember very clearly.
That's a good shout. 3-1. I think it's tighter than we probably think, and we put that third, just like last weekend, put it away late.
All right. Let's maybe just go around the league before we wrap up. Already mentioned the other game on Sunday. I would love to see a Villa win, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I want Villa to finish top 4, dude. I really do.
I do too. Shout out Une. So we got top 4. I think top 3. I think we know who the best 3 teams are. That 4th spot. Oof, it's tight. And I obviously don't want it to be Tottenham. Villa. I don't like Villa at all, to be honest, but I'd take them over a lot of them other jokers.
Yeah, and it would actually, I don't know, if I were a Villa fan, I would be worried about finishing top 4 because I feel like people are going to be coming for your players in the summer, dude.
Yeah.
That's one club that I can see some deals happening in the summer. But Saturday, there's a lot of games. It starts out early in the morning with a Man City Everton, Liverpool Burnley. So those are sort of top competition. That's who they're playing against. And I looked at these sort of odd makers for these 2 matches. So both Man City and Liverpool are at home. So Everton, the money line is plus 1,000 for them to win. And Burnley, for them to get a result at Anfield, the odds maker are making it plus 1,100. Oof. So that just kind of shows the probability of an upset maybe this weekend is pretty low. I wouldn't mind a draw from one of those 2 teams.
And you know who it would be? Sean Dyche's Toffees.
I think so, man. I think so.
If either of those teams were going to get a result, it'd be Everton. You never know with Sean Dyche. He can get those boys going.
Yeah, I mean, a fun game to maybe watch is Tottenham Brighton.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be around Saturday at all. Going to be looking at some apartments, so probably not going to be watching any of these games. But that one, just given Brighton's gameplay and given Tottenham's stupid tactics, I think it's going to be a very fun one to watch.
That's the game. That's the game of Saturday, absolutely. The game of Sunday is Villa United to me. And then Saturday, that's the game. Tottenham Brighton. Where's Brighton at in the table anyways? They're in 8th. Okay. They're ahead of Newcastle. Yeah, that should be the game for sure.
Yeah. And if they win, then they're potentially tied on points with Manchester United.
Exactly.
So hopefully Brighton puts on a show, man. They just got battered, didn't they?
They deserve it. They deserve it.
Hey, we might have to end on that pun, dude. We just might.
I think that's it. I got nothing else to say. 3-1. We'll see you next weekend against Burnley. Porto coming up. Ooh-wee. Newcastle and the month. It's a big one. Yeah. It's a big month. Let's keep the momentum going, man.
Absolutely, dude. Fun month ahead. Everybody, enjoy your weekend. We'll chat with you after the game on Sunday. Thanks for spending time with us. As always, if you like the podcast, make sure you rate it and leave a review. Also, share it on social. It's the best way for others to find out about us. Good to have you in the lab, dude.
Be easy.